All right, guys, in this episode of the Fit Rockstar Show, you will not believe who we have. Oh my God, I'm fangirling right now. She is two-time Miss Rising Phoenix champ, two-time Miss Olympia, soon to be three-time Rising Phoenix champ and Olympia, Miss Andrea Shaw. Now, everybody says your name different ways. What is the proper way to say your name? Andrea? Andrea?
Good question. So my mom calls me Andrea.
Okay.
But I'm named after my dad's sister who goes by Andrea.
Okay.
So I try to just tell people to call me Drea. Then that way it's easy.
Yeah, that is much easier.
But they say you're supposed to go by what your mom calls you. So Andrea, technically.
Andrea. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going on? You're in the gym training?
Yeah, I just finished a little shoulder work and some posing. And I told John, I said, I got to go because my girl is calling and I got to get ready.
How many weeks out are we now from the Rising Phoenix?
Ooh, you mean days? Oh, we are 23 days away.
23
days away.
Holy smokes.
I know, it came fast. I'm like, wait, what?
And the Olympia, we are 65 days away? 63? Maybe?
That one I got weeks on that one. We're 10 weeks away.
What was it like with your first Rising Phoenix when you first got into that show? What was that like, that experience for you?
The first time I did it was 2019. Mm-hmm. It was a big deal. It was a big deal for me to just do it. I was exhausted. I was brand new to bodybuilding, and I knew I needed more time to learn like how to be in bodybuilding with my posing, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity. So I just said, all right, I'm just going to go. So, I mean, the Rising, it was exciting, but at the same time, I knew I wasn't my best in 2019, but I'm still glad I did it because it gave me enough fuel to really like dial my focus in for the 2020 Rising Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Now you wasn't, I laughed because you're like, oh, it wasn't my best, but I won the whole show anyway. Went on to the Olympia.
2019, I didn't win. 2019, I came in 7th place.
Oh, geez. Now I need to get my home. Now, see, now I'm messing up. See that? I didn't have my coffee this morning.
That's okay.
But when you did your first Rising Phoenix, obviously you came back strong. You won the 2020. And then you went on to win the Olympia, which is a great payday year for you. Obviously, if COVID, I know you had things going on. But moving fast forward, so what do you think of the new cream of the crop, these new bodybuilders we have coming in?
Loving it. Like, I am super excited to see the ladies, like new ladies onto the Olympia stage. It's going to be exciting, and the Rising Phoenix stage. I think it's finally flourishing the way that I hoped it would. I mean, I want more ladies to come, but we're off to a great start.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. What do you mean you want more, like, flourishing? But what is your idea? What is your vision with women's bodybuilding?
I would like for women's bodybuilding to be ideally offered at every show. Every show. I mean, that's where all athletes should be treated equally. All divisions should be equally represented. Granted, I know promoters can only really do so much, but I want to see more female bodybuilding shows on the roster, and I want to see good quality competition show up. And I mean, Savannah Pro was definitely Savannah and Atlanta Pro was definitely a step in the right direction, because again, I was sitting in the audience but excited to see the ladies who were on stage, and I personally told many of them that I was very proud to see them up there on that stage. They were very pretty, very graceful, and the femininity was at the forefront, and that's what I want. That's what I want to see with female bodybuilding across the board. You know, almost ultra feminine, those touches to the.
Do you know I had a few girls get upset with me because I mentioned to them about the femininity, that they need to have more femininity? They got offended by that. They're like, well, I should just be me on stage, and this is, the judges should accept me for who I am. I'm like, yeah, but you need to also present the feminine side of the bodybuilding to keep the sport going. I mean, I feel that's a very important thing. What are your thoughts on that?
It's very important. It's very important. And it's not, people have to remember that it's still a pageant. I like to call it a pageant because I mean, yes, it's a bodybuilding competition, but there's pageantry involved in what we do, right? I mean, that's the whole point. And coming to the finals with our evening gown suits on, right? I liken it to that. So it should be treated as such because again, that's what separates us from the rest of the divisions, in my opinion, is that we have that opportunity to showcase a little bit more muscle. And the more elegant and feminine we make it, that's also what sets us apart from the men. I mean, let's just be real.
Right.
I can't really explain it any other way. Some people like to like dance around it. I'm not going to dance around it.
Right.
The only thing that's really like at the forefront for women's bodybuilding is making sure that we present that femininity on stage. Because if you do have a harder look, then your femininity and what you bring to the stage with that poise should soften you.
Mm-hmm.
It should.
Mm-hmm. I
You know,
agree.
and some ladies don't like it. I don't care.
No,
It
I
is what it is.
agree.
No, it is what it is.
Now,
We're still women.
yes, absolutely, 100%. Now, let me ask you, being Miss Olympia, the ambassador of women's bodybuilding, the greatest of all time right now, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts? What would you like to see with other female bodybuilder professionals? How can we promote more women's bodybuilding? Because as you saw early in the year, we didn't have a lot of women, maybe 3 at one show, 4 at another. What can we do to bring in more people?
My personal quest has been to kind of keep scoping the landscape for some female competitors who are in women's physique. Some of them are very dense and they may be a bit apprehensive. I know Christina Bryant was one. I mean, I've been talking to Christina for the
Oh, yeah.
last 2 years. And I knew based on her legs that the density of what she brings to the table was totally perfect for women's bodybuilding. But it took some time. So just having these conversations about, what to expect, what my experience was like, or what, I can give you my experience, but go talk to Asha Hadley, go talk to Mayla Ash. These are ladies who have, crossover from women's, and we can talk to you and have open dialogue about what some of your fears may be and some of your apprehensions are, so that you can feel more comfortable going to a place where you're better suited to actually compete and do well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's been my quest. I think that's for me because some of the ladies come right in knowing they want to do bodybuilding, which is great. But I've found that more often than not, some of these ladies are in women's physique and they just don't understand why they aren't placing so well. They're doing hours and hours of cardio and they're still not leaning out to, the streamline their physiques. So yeah, I made it a personal quest to just keep the door open to conversate.
Do you feel that there's enough women's bodybuilding promotion going on out there for us?
No,
I
I
don't
think
think
we
that
could do
there's
a
a,
little bit more.
yeah,
I think we could do more.
right. What would you
Yeah,
like to
and we've
see
got
with
a
that?
special announcement. We won't unwrap it just yet, but we've got a special announcement coming when you have me back on the show about something coming for our ladies.
Excellent. I cannot wait to hear that. What can we do though, like social media wise, to promote more women's bodybuilding? What do you think can be done?
Well, I think we kind of started to get into it a little bit more. So like between me, Mayla, um, Christina Mendoza, I mean, we've advertised more posing services that are offered. We just kind of put ourselves out there to where it's like, hey, if you guys want to be coached on posing, then we're here to help you. And that's a good start. I think another start would be getting more of us who are in actively competing to start showing up at shows. I
Yes,
mean, we need to
I agree.
talk. We need to talk
Right.
again. That's where it's very important to me to talk to some of these amateurs. So when I said the women's physique division, that's not just limited to the pros. I still talk to women's physique competitors who are amateurs also.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all NPC athletes have some desire for direction, right? And sometimes they don't know how to interpret some of the feedback they may get from certain judges, or they still feel a little deflated or confused, or there's just a whole gamut of different things that they could be trying to sort through. But we need to be there. We need to be present. If you want to be an ambassador for your division, then you need to actually show up.
Correct.
And some just kind of devalue the NPC shows, which it's a big mistake because again, you never know who the next champion really will be. But I know that people always will remember what type of things you said to them to inspire them.
Hmm.
and that that they will take for the rest of their lives. So again, we need to be present. We need to have our boots on the ground, so to speak. And again, if you really got a heart for the sport, same thing with what Linda does, right? She's found ways over the years to give back to the sport. Betty Pariso, she still gives back to the sport. I mean, you know what I mean? They have a following all their own. So again, you just have to find more ways to put your face out there and be present.
Hmm. I feel that we do need to definitely get on the NPC level with girls because they're the ground, right? That's where we get started. And so, I mean, we have USA's, nationals, all these big shows. We're not really seeing a lot of women bodybuilders anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, what can we do to recruit these girls? So that's
Yeah,
something that, I would love to work with you on and trying to get these girls in. We
yeah,
we need more
yeah.
blood. But
I'm
speak
so game.
speaking of the new blood, so who's most impressive to you this year that you've seen? That you're like,
Oh
wow.
man. So many. I mean, a lot. I mean, all the girls who showed up at the Savannah Pro, the Atlanta Pro. I mean, these were again the biggest shows that I've seen so far with female bodybuilding numbers.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
And I was very happy to see these ladies on stage. I mean, I can't just limit it to one. I mean, they all look so good. I mean, finally, again, I'm
Well,
so proud of Christine.
they're all coming after your title too. You know that, right?
And that's okay. That's okay. Again, it's a competition, but it's not a clause out, competition where we're going to be nasty and rude about it. Because
Sure.
again, this is not. I think many people know that that's not how I am when
No.
it comes to what I want to represent. But yeah, you should definitely be coming to try to take the crown. But you
Listen,
know how I am with that too.
you by far are the last person who's one of these, likes to stir the pot. You're a very positive person. You're always about the sisterhood, which I love that about you. You're not catty like some people we know, who just
Right,
can't who
right.
can't handle. They get a little bit butthurt. But listen, I do
Yeah.
want to ask you about one person whose conditioning was crazy. Angela Yo. What did you think of her
Yes.
conditioning?
Her conditioning is always on point. Yeah, I've started watching her when she turned pro. So she's from my neighbor state, Ohio.
Okay.
And I absolutely love her conditioning. And it took a lot of shifting for her to really kind of, I think, make a shift from powerlifting
Yeah.
to bodybuilding. So, and she's done that. I think she's done that. Now it's just a matter of, and we worked together, about a month or so ago, on some of her posing critiques.
Hmm.
So, I think it's just a matter of, again, finding, just like I did, I had to find my flow with being a female bodybuilder versus being a women's physique competitor. So she's well and on her way, and I'm super excited for her. I think she deserves to be on that Olympia stage. Again, her conditioning was quite impressive. I mean,
Yes.
when I saw the lineup, I was very certain that she was going to snag first or second place. So, yeah.
So I want to bring up something you just mentioned about she deserved to be on that Olympia stage. As you know, and I hate to put it this way, earlier in the year we did have shows where there was little competitors who are not high count. I'm not trying to knock anybody with this, but it wasn't like what we're used to with the competition and the caliber of conditioning and things like that. So, how do I say this without trying to hurt anybody? They're going to the Olympia regardless because they were there. There was nobody else. So what are you going to do, right? What is your thoughts on that? I mean, what do you think about when there's a low number show and it's an Olympia qualification on the line? That you have to give it to that person who may look, I don't know, 9 weeks out. I'm just being honest with you. What do you do?
There's
I
not
know
much
that's a
you
very
can do.
touchy thing. I'm not
It,
trying to
it is.
knock. Listen, they were there. They came and they did the work. They were there.
Yeah.
Nobody else came, so I can't really
Yeah.
knock that. But this
Yeah.
is, all eyes are on the women bodybuilders. And it only takes that one person to write, some type of article or whatever, oh, women's bodybuilding, it's this and that. What do we
Yeah.
do to prevent that?
Well, I mean, it goes back to our plan of attack when it comes to, again, being front and center with these women's physique girls and or amateurs who are considering competing. Some of the ladies that I've talked to, they approach me and they're like, well, I like your look, but I'm scared I'm not big enough. Or, again, getting back to have these questions answered, or again, at least creating the dialogue, because we have to have ladies who are encouraged and feel comfortable and confident actually stepping on the stage. The other part of that is just, again, I think it's just a matter of growing the division when we're talking about pro league status, right? We just have to, again, there are some girls, and I've got my eye on a couple of ladies, they're still in women's physique, and they do not belong there.
You can't call them out?
Whatever, shake them and get them out of there.
Can you call them out?
Well, I think one young lady who I haven't made any contact with her, but I've been watching her. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Deshanka. Sorry, but she's got a beautiful physique. She's got full muscle bellies. She's got and I've seen some snippets of how she trains. I just feel like she would be such a much better fit for female bodybuilding.
Sure.
Again, that density. You can't diet that off. You can't train that off with cardio. It's there. It's not going anywhere. I've been there, done that.
Right.
But again, looking at how she trains, I think she would be a great addition to the division. But again, they have to be ready and or open to receiving the feedback. And I don't know what her feedback from the judges is. Again, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to really talk to her. So sometimes I have to kind of sit back and kind of wait for an opportunity to present itself when I haven't actually, and not always, but sometimes where I haven't actually gotten to speak to the person face to face. But, and another person, Ashley, oh gosh, I know her Instagram. Why do we know people's Instagram handles? Let me get back to you on her name, but she is a little bit on the somewhat smaller side with her lower body, but her upper body, but her lower body is.
I think I may know who you're talking about, but
yes, I love her look.
Ashley. You just have to say Ashley.
Yeah, and she's from Texas, and I actually reached out to her on Instagram, and we chatted a little bit. So again, I don't really know this Shanka too well, but I hope that the opportunity presents itself. Maybe she'll watch. So hey, shout out to you, a young lady. You look awesome. My personal critique would be that maybe you consider doing a female bodybuilding show.
Well, Andrea, I got to tell you, everybody, and I mean everybody, adores you and loves you. And I've talked to a lot of pro Olympia judges, and they all have said the same thing. If there is anyone who is the best Miss Olympia, that is what is women's bodybuilding, it is you. Because of how you flow, the muscles, the beauty, the poise, the presentation. That is what women's bodybuilding is. I mean, you're obviously the champ, and I when I hear that, I'm like, that is so awesome. You know what I mean? Because everybody raves about you. You're so well spoken. If there's one thing I would love to see is more seminars, like you doing like a traveling tour, obviously in your off season when you're not competing, and inspiring others, because you're so well spoken. And when you talk, everyone listens.
I try to make it that way too, because people who talk too much, you just turn the ears off. So it's like,
yes, okay,
what did you say? But yeah, I don't want to be that person. And again, I think that when you speak from the heart, people know when it's genuine, because that's what I mean. And I've had several conversations with you, with Jake, with Linda. It's like, you know what? Rather than tell somebody something that I think they want to hear, I'll just be quiet. Mm-hmm. I'll just be quiet. So if I'm quiet, then I don't have anything to say, or maybe I've had a thought that, okay, it's not worth vocalizing. But
sure.
I think you're spot on though with the seminars. I think that, so I've partnered with a couple people for the 2024 season to start, and we started in February. Well, actually, we're starting in January with the women's seminar in Arizona. So that's the first start. But yeah, I'm going to work with Tony and his wife. Tony's our head expediter over at, or he expedites at the stage for the Olympia. Him and his wife, Victoria.
I know Tony.
Yeah, I love it. Tony's awesome. So yeah, we're going to do a seminar. I missed the one last year. So yeah, I'm just, putting some feelers out there to see what else I can do, because the travel is a lot. But again, if I can do it, I want to do it, because there's no reason why we shouldn't have more numbers at some of these shows.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we shouldn't.
I can't see why not. I mean, listen, if you want to go to the Olympia, the strategy is when there's a show, go compete. And I think, the point system, I don't know if they're going to be getting rid of that or not, but I kind of hope they do. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the point system, but
I'm kind of on the fence with it. It's kind of, the ladies do work hard, but then again, I mean, if you actually won a show, then you earned you punched your ticket, so to speak, to be there. But again, I don't want to discount the ladies who do try to, make it to, because then sometimes those numbers add up, right? When you look at low numbers for shows, those girls who want to get more points, they show up.
Right.
So that's where I'm kind of torn with that, I mean, unless we maybe modify the point system a little bit. I don't know. But that's going to be an Olympia or IFBB call.
Sure.
But again, I just want to see, I think we should have bigger turnouts at shows. I don't think there should be anything less than 12 girls on stage at any female bodybuilding show.
I would love to see 20 girls. 20?
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Well, I mean, listen, the guys this year, they have 20, as of right now, there are 28 qualified. And that's not including the top 3 guys with points. 28 already qualified. What do we have? I think not even that. I mean, obviously.
No. From my last count, I think there were only 11 or 10 shows.
11. And then we have the
many.
top 3. So then that would be, what is that, 14? No. Yeah.
Top 3.
Right.
I think
6. So we have 11 and the top 3, that's 14, right? There'll be 14.
Well, because then we had, I thought they were like 16 because there were some
16.
shows later in the year last year.
Okay.
So like Romania Pro.
Okay,
where
re-qualify for this. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the couple shows at the tail end of the year are still qualifiers. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of like the top 3? Do you think it should be top 5 that get requalified again, or should it just be the winner of the Olympia title that's it? What do you think?
I think top 5. I feel like if you place top 5 and you got a medal around your neck, you deserve to be invited to come back.
Yeah.
And I think it should be across the board. I think it shouldn't be limited to, just one division. Mm. Again, all athletes paid a price to be there. And if you got crowned with a medal, you should be back on stage next year.
Sure. Well, let's talk about your prep. Okay, so you come into Savannah, guest posing. You come out with this sexy red cape, everything. Everybody's going wild, crazy and wild. Then you take it off, and here's these big, gigantic, feminine, beautiful, chiseled muscles. You blew everybody away. So I have to ask the $1 million question. It looks like you're bringing a totally different package this year that we've never seen before, ever.
I think we're close. My goal was to try to add a little more size to my glutes specifically, and then just a little bit to my quads, but not too much because I don't want to be overpowering. But I felt like, a little bit.
Your quads are like three of my heads together. You got some huge ass legs. But I mean, everything.
I'm trying.
Yeah. So you're still working with John Simmons?
I am.
Yeah.
So that's my training coach and my prep coach, and then I'm still working with Sid Gillen for my posing. So the team is on. I'm
looking at you right now, and you are lean, very.
I am. I am, and I was actually getting a little concerned because I did put on so much like density downstairs in the legs.
Sure.
I didn't know if I was going to be like lean enough in time. So, we started just about 4 days ago, ramping up the cardio a little bit more. So I'm curious to see, what kind of shape we're going to be left with. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with some of the development that I was able to make because, I changed gears from last year. Last year, it was about growing, but it was not specifically for legs. But yeah, this year the effort was definitely focused in the right place. And I was a little concerned about that guest posing too, because I was like, ooh, am I going to have enough, to actually show some good shape?
Are you kidding me? Holy smokes.
But we should be that way, right? We should always be on top of, making sure all the, T's are crossed and I's are dotted. So
even at your very best, do you think that you'll still be satisfied? Do you still feel like, I could have been better?
Oh, never satisfied. Never.
What car is this? Is this the Camaro? that
Oh
you're
no, this is my everyday vehicle.
This is,
My little Betsy. Call her my
okay,
Betsy.
Betsy.
Because when I'm in prep, I mean, sometimes I'll bring the car out, but
Yeah.
sometimes I like to fly under the radar. Big hoodies,
Oh,
big
right.
baggy
Yeah.
pants.
Right.
I mean, I go in. I mean, I'm under the radar.
Right. Right. That's the way to be, right?
Yeah, yeah. Keep
No,
it. Keep the focus where it needs to be, which is making sure that you get your work done. And I think a lot of people I mean, I think I used to live on a farm. So, I mean, this is where the grind. This is where the work comes in. And, it's nothing pretty sometimes about doing the work. I saved that part for the stage, but I definitely know about, getting your head into what you need to do and get that work done.
How many Olympia titles do you see you winning?
I'm hoping for 11, but I had a conversation with myself about being realistic about evaluating based on each year. Am I still passionate about the stage? Do I still physically feel good about getting on stage, right? And is there something else that I would rather be doing where I could expend my energy in a different way? And so asking myself those three questions every year kind of is my gauge for, am I ready to retire or am I ready to give it another go? So as long as I still feel good physically and mentally in my space, and there isn't anything else that I think is worth me pursuing, I want to keep going.
Well, I say you still have a lot of gas in the tank to go. And I think that number 11 is a pretty damn good number
I hope so. I
to
hope
get.
so. Because I mean, I lost my job in 2020. I think I
Yeah.
told you that.
Yeah.
And there's something that I have been very mindful of doing since that time. When I was working 40 hours a week, I was still getting off work, training clients, doing posing clinics. We do posing clinics like once a month here. And I told myself, if I could just do this full time, I would not complain. If I could do this, and I'm not going to complain because this is what I wanted. And so for some competitors to hear them, gripe about, this is an opportunity. This is some people dreamed to do this. So you should not be complaining. And again, I remember those days of trying to figure out how I'm going to squeeze everything in. And again, exhausted. When in 2019, I blew through all of my PTO time. I had to try to give back hours that I stole because I didn't have any more vacation time to take. But again, when I think about that and how much I really wanted to have what I have now, it just creates a better space to be grateful and just focus on giving it my best. So I'm going to stay there with it.
Your story is pretty incredible. And for those, I mean, you can probably say it better than I can, but when 2020, yeah, you lost your job and then you were putting all your eggs in the basket for the Rising Phoenix. Everything.
Everything.
And then
everything. There was no expense that I spared. There was no expense that I spared because I told my coaches, both of them, like, okay, plan A's got to work because plan B just got set on fire. I had every anticipation on going back to my job. I mean, again, I was a salary employee. So in personal training, that's like unheard of. Right. I had 401k, I had benefits, I had stock options. Like I cashed in my entire 401k to make sure that I made it to that Rising Phoenix stage.
Wow.
People don't realize sometimes the sacrifice makes you appreciate it that much more. Yeah, I've invested a lot.
And it was a hard time as well because I think your birthday was around that time too, right?
Yeah, the day I won.
The day you won is your birthday.
Was my birthday.
And something with your father, right?
Yep, last year's Olympia was the day before my father's death.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
You have been through so much, but you're such a warrior, you know?
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on the current Olympia? Who do you think's going to win the Mr. Olympia? Gotta ask.
Oh, I really have no clue.
Can I have a top 5 guess? Top 5 guess. Come on.
That's too hard.
Come on.
I mean, when I say I'm
no order.
Now, last year I stole Ronnie Coleman's seat for the front row until he got there. So I'm going to figure out Dan Solomon. I need a front row seat. I am super excited to see these guys on stage. I mean, I really can't nail it down. I'm excited to see Hunter. I'm excited to see obviously Big Ramy because I mean he's massive. Right. But I know that him and Dennis have kind of dialed up their focus a little bit because I mean if we see a 100% Ramy against our newly added Derek Lunsford, and if Sean Clarita decides he wants to jump into the Open because he's a wild card, right? because he could decide to do 212 and or the Open.
Sure.
I think he has to just pick one. But yeah, I'm super excited to see these guys like Nick Walker, the mutant. I can't pick Brandon Curry. William Bonac.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
I think I'm up to 7 now.
I've got a question for you.
I'm super.
The primetime muscle guys were saying that all the top 3 athletes should compete despite being qualified.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll just take that.
But I love those guys.
Yeah. What about Michael Krizo? What do you think of this guy?
Oh, this guy's.
You think
Where
he's
did he
all
come
hype?
from?
Or do you think that he's going to be something big in the top 5, top 10 at the Olympia?
Top 10 for sure. Again, sometimes I need to be able to see people on stage next to the guys that I've seen on stage. You know what I mean? So that's where I could make a better judgment call there. But I am excited to see it because he's a mass monster. He's a mass monster. He's big.
Right.
And he's got enough definition to where it's not just the mass game. Sure. I think that's when having test judged this past Masters Nationals, I was very open to seeing right away, where conditioning versus size comes into play, and how symmetry really creates, those really clear defining lines between who's going to be in that top 3. That's a game changer. But this guy, he impressed me when I saw him with the clarity that he brings to the stage, or to the, well, I shouldn't say the stage, to because I saw him at Bev Francis's Powerhouse. I think Steve Weinberger posted some photos of him. Yeah, I mean, but very impressed. And Samson
is my wild card.
Oh man, this guy. Oh, he's got all the makings of George Peterson meets Big Romney.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I cannot wait to see these guys up there. I am super excited.
Well, wait a minute now. Let's talk about this test judging. How'd it go?
It was amazing. I mean,
was it fast, like boom, 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 or?
It's like you better hold on to your hat because this is going to be moving really quick, especially when Tyler and Sandy are on the mic. I mean, we're moving fast. But it was 3 days worth of test judging for me, so it was a marathon.
How many bodies did you guys go through?
Too many to count. Some of my sheets were 2 pages long just for one class. So it was definitely, and it was fun to judge the pros, test judge the pros. And it was, again, a rewarding experience and a newfound respect for what these judges do. I almost get kind of pissed off now when people say, "Oh, well, the judges are playing, favorites, or there's not. Either you brought your best or you didn't." We don't want to hear that garbage. Some of these people find an easy way out when you know whether or not you were cheating on your diet, whether or not you followed everything your coach told you to do,
right?
Or there's more that you need to learn. Some people are always trying to figure out a way to just blame something else when you know what, you have to change.
Correct.
I lost it. I came in 7th place at my first Rising Phoenix. I didn't bring my best. It's up to me to make sure I make the changes. I reached out to Sydney. Okay, can you help me? I went to back to the drawing board with, okay, I need an off-season plan.
Right.
Yeah, but a totally newfound respect for the judges because it is truly a labor of love.
Mm-hmm. It's not easy.
It really is.
No. I was just at the Legion Fest, and every class that ended, Tyler would immediately go in the back to give the athletes critiques, which I thought was awesome because he doesn't have to do that. I mean, that says a lot. Usually you were waiting at the end of the show to get critiques, but no, Tyler immediately went straight to the back to give critiques. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool,
And I think that's to the athletes that take it and do something with it, it's golden.
Sure.
it's golden. And I kind of got into a rhythm once I did start test judging. Okay, the people that I was putting in the top 5, I was writing down their critiques. Okay, this person needed to refine their posing, specifically this pose. I mean, and again, you got to move fast. So you got to be able to pick them out, and then you got to make your notes really, really quick. But again, I can see now where it is more beneficial for the judges if they can give that feedback right away. Sometimes it's not always feasible, but if they can, it's definitely better to do. But yeah, that way you have your ammunition. You know exactly what you need to do. You don't have to wait on an email. You don't have to wait on NPC photos or IFBB photos to get uploaded. But yeah, it's definitely, again, a labor of love, because if they see that you've got the makings of a good foundation, they're going to give you what you need to progress to the next level.
Sure. Nothing upsets me more when I go online and I see these athletes posting pictures and crying they got robbed, at the shows. And it's like, really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I try to tell even some of my amateur athletes, and again, this is the joy of having these seminars where the amateurs come, tell your family to keep those comments to themselves until you guys are in a private setting. You don't know who's around. Like, conduct yourself with some class.
Yeah. Well, even on stage, like this past weekend at Legion Fest, in the men's open, there was a gentleman who kept on getting second call out, third call out. He's raising his hands in the air, upset, pissed off. And I'm like, you don't think we all can see that?
It's very
it doesn't
distasteful.
Look good. No.
It's very distasteful. I've seen competitors throw their medals. It's just, and I said something to this one particular gentleman, but it's not, it doesn't speak well to you or your attitude of being an athlete. Because again, either you did your work and you did the best you could and you're going to wait for your feedback, or there's something else that you need to learn. Some people need to understand this is an ever evolving, and like you said, I'm never satisfied with the results because I'm always growing to see what I can learn that's going to be new, that's going to make me better. And that's the joy of competing. You should be looking for that part, the process.
Andrea, when are we going to see a documentary about you, like your road to the Olympia?
Ooh,
like now.
Soon. I've started a little mini one some of because I haven't really documented a whole lot. So I started to just do
very
random recordings of, how I'm feeling before cardio or before my lifts. So as soon as I get someone who I feel comfortable with handling like the video and putting all that together for me in edits, maybe Nico will help me out with that.
Of course he
Nico,
would.
I think that I'd be ready to probably release that sometime early spring next year or sooner. It depends on, how quickly Nico and I can work to get it done.
And what's it like working with Mutant? That looks fun.
It's amazing. Team. It's amazing. I didn't think that these type of opportunities would be around for female bodybuilders, especially after like Linda's era. So it came as a surprise, but it also came as a very welcome surprise because I was honored, and I feel so blessed to be able to work with them. I mean, it's a family. It's not just a company and we're pushing like supplements, right? We like our products. We actually know that they work. He's got a lot of good ingredients that he's, done his research with, because Jim's got a very fascinating story about how he started and, what brought him to where he is and being an entrepreneur and what type of risks he's had to take. So yeah, it's definitely a family, and having met him, it makes me want to work that much more for him and the company. So yeah, a good group of folks. And again, I think that for them to open their arms and welcome me as a female bodybuilder, it says a lot about their ability to be able to just work with people who are good people.
Well, you're one of a kind women bodybuilder. I just want to throw that in the mix. You're a very rare gem in our sport, and we are very blessed to have you. And such a great ambassador. And again, I know that you'll win that third victory with the Rising Phoenix and the Olympia. No doubt about that. But I do want to ask you something, because you're tending to get your hands into everything. What else do you plan on doing with the sport? What other ideas? I love that you're so hands-on with stuff now.
Yeah. I feel like, sometimes rather than talking a whole lot, this is the thing that separates the people who like to just bump their gums is the people who are willing to take the risk and people who are willing to put themselves out there to explore what can actually be done. So I am moving into the role very soon here of promoting a show. So yes, I will at least I will pull the curtain back just a little bit on that. And I am going to be co-promoting a show that will feature women. Of course, female bodybuilding will be there, women's physique and figure. And, we're going to keep our options open. There may be some more. We're also going to offer masters women because I think
Oh,
that they
that's
should be
very nice.
celebrated.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's one out of potentially 3 shows that I will either be co-promoting or promoting. So again, show promoter, it's a lot of work. But thank God I've had the opportunity to work with some people and start to really learn the business. Again, putting yourself in the environment. Competitors have no idea what all goes into a show because it's a team of people to really put on a good production. So, I want to, again, not just talk about it, be about it. That's definitely like what my next contribution to the sport or the division is, putting on good quality show.
I want to talk about something you just mentioned that really piqued my interest, which I love to hear you said. Celebrate the Masters women. I like that because a lot of people, they look at Masters, it's like, tell me why you feel, tell me about the celebrating the Masters women. Tell me. Talk about that a little bit.
I feel like the Masters women, these are your seasoned women, right? Mm-hmm. Many of them have careers, they've got families, and they've mastered the art of balancing life with their goals. And that, to me, deserves celebrating. And, my mom kind of had ambitions on competing, but she needed to be a mom first, right? So she prioritized her life to put her education first. So she went back to school and, her goal of wanting to compete kind of fell by the wayside. I mean, thank God she gets to kind of live that vicariously through me. But I've seen that even with the women that I've worked with over the last 5 years. These ladies, they sacrifice so much for their husbands, their kids, their careers. And then they look up so many years later and then they're like, what happened to them? So these ladies, I think, should be celebrated because they found a way to really balance all of that, all of these responsibilities, but still fulfill their passions for getting on stage. And again, the level of their effort is nowhere near diminished, right? They still have to bring excellent packages, and many of them bring superb conditioning to the stage because they've got that mature muscle. They look really, really, really good. I mean, some ladies, 3 kids, 4 kids, 6 kids. And it's like, whoa, we need to celebrate that. This is something that I think is amazing to have them come and participate in and let us honor them for all that they do.
Some of those women look phenomenal. Like, they don't even look their age at all.
Yeah, some of them look better than some of the open.
Yes. No, you're not hurting anybody's feelings, but that's true. It's facts. Some of these women, I say to them, why are you competing in Masters? Go into the open because you can actually do very well. But Andrea, listen, I know you got your stuff to do with John. You got your prep and get ready for your big win. I'm going to let you go. But if there's anything you want to say to the fans out there, to your sponsors, family, go for it.
Oh, thank you so much for Wings of Strength, for the opportunities that they've given us. Because, again, it's changed my life for sure. And many other ladies. So thank you. And thank you to Mutant. You guys are amazing. They will have a booth at the expo, so I'm going to come and hang out and see everybody. And thank you so much for having me on the show. I mean, you guys are, come on, anytime you ask me, I'm coming. So I absolutely love Fit Rockstar. The show is amazing. Can't wait to see you at the Rising Phoenix.
Absolutely. I'll be there. Let me ask you one question. I'll let you go. What is your dream car that you wish to have at the Rising Phoenix? If you can have any car, what is it?
Okay, I really want another Corvette.
What color?
I really didn't think I would like the Corvette as much as I do, but it's my favorite. And I'm a Chevy girl, so I like Ford. It's okay. But Chevy's my favorite. And I think a black Corvette would be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put a note into the boss.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, hon. Listen, take care. Have a wonderful day. And again, thank you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure having you. Keep on being you and doing the awesome things you do.
Thank you. Will do. I love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Mwah.